Surround yourself with people that are going to have your back no matter what, especially during very difficult times, and are going to hold you to a higher standard than you would otherwise hold yourself when you start slipping. Because we all do, we are going to slip. And some of the best words that I ever heard around environment come from Yogananda, where he says, environment is stronger than willpower. He couldn't be more on point. Self mastery is incredibly important. We got to develop that capacity to catch ourselves when we start falling to headspaces that don't really serve us, don't really work for us. But the people that you have around you, the people that you can really rely on, that's going to do wonders. And that helps to relieve some of the pressure, some of the stress, where you don't have to do it all by yourself. You don't have to go it alone. And especially for us men, the lone wolf syndrome is killing us. It's just not worth it. It's so much of a heavy burden. And given that the suicide rate is so much higher among men than women, we just keep trying to absorb so much of the load ourselves. It's important to unload some of the time, maybe a lot of the time, depending on what you're going through. So I just organized a call for one of my members, and I think it was 8 of us or 9 of us that showed up on the call. And his mom died, and his mom had gone down to take care of his grandmother. So his mother died, and his grandmother, who's 86 years old, I think, or 84, has dementia. So it's an incredibly trying time for him. It was unexpected, of course, as these things a lot of the times are. Sometimes you can expect it when it's older people, but his mom was not that much older. So she passed on, and I wanted to make sure that he was going to be served. And so we all gathered, and we went to some deeper places there, and it was incredibly important that we meet 2 outcomes. One, that any personal open loops that might be there for him get closed, but then secondly, what's going to be the next step now, because there is still the grandmother that's got to be cared for. This is incredibly difficult, and I've been there having cared for each of my parents at the end. My father died in 2017, my mom in 2019, and my parents were old enough to be my grandparents. They had me at a later age. So whatever the family dynamics are, what I can tell you is one of the things that I've learned throughout the years, and I forgot who it was that said this. I think it might have been the famous Zen Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh. And the words are, the most important thing that you can do is to get closure with your parents, or to get closure with your upbringing. You may not see that right now, but it will come back on you when you do have to get that closure, when it comes time to either care for them, or they have passed on unexpectedly maybe, and you need to just handle arrangements, deal with other family members. Everyone's in a state of grief and grieving. And then all of a sudden your past, your upbringing starts coming up, and getting closure with that is incredibly important. Having people around you that can help to support and facilitate that process. Offload so much of this, and especially for us men, we need to unload sometimes. So always remember, environment is stronger than willpower. Be very mindful and choose your peers very carefully. Always hold high standards. Make sure they're going to hold you to higher standards.